Hello, everybody. Welcome to Townsend 505. Uh, Me and Jason, we're gonna be counting down our top songs of 1966. How are you doing today, Jason?
Oh, I'm doing really good.
That's good
Nice
to
to be
hear.
back talking about one of my favorite years of music.
Yes. Yeah, it's incredible. Last year was great, but this year it's like we're getting even better. I mean,
Yeah,
so many great albums coming out, so many great singles coming out. It's like, oh
yeah,
my gosh, this is like last year was like when music got great. This is like when music was like it was like mind blowingly good.
yeah. I agree.
But yeah. So basically, as if you're new to this series, basically we're going to be going. We're going to be doing a top 10 best songs from the Billboard Top 100, or just charts in general. Like it could be like the British charts, African charts. It could be anywhere. As long as it's a charting single, I'm not going to be a stickler. Like if you're like, oh, in Albania, Albania, this was like a huge hit single. I'd be like, there you go, that counts. So it doesn't matter where it charts. If it's a chart single, it's on the list. Even if it's just like a hit, or even if it's just a song that's really popular of this year, I'll count it. And then after that, we'll be doing our top five deep cuts, and then and then at the end we'll be saying, yeah, this single overrated as hell. But without further ado, Jason, give me your number 10.
All right. It's funny doing this list. I find all these almost every song in my top 10 are like my favorite song by this band. So it's like this is like the great song. And so number 10 is my favorite Moms and Papas song, which is Monday Monday. um, Off of their first album, I believe it is. If you believe your eyes and ears. It's an iconic song, huge hit song on the radio. Growing up, it was always this and California Dreaming was on the radio a lot, and both great songs. But Monday Monday, I like just a little bit more than California Dreaming. But I just love the vocals. Monday Monday when he comes in with that Monday Monday, and then just the background vocals, sha la la whatever, da ba 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 ba. Oh, it's so great the backing vocals, and then that part where every other day of the week is fine, fine. It's like obviously the harmonies are amazing, vocally great, uh, verses or melody is amazing. It's one of my favorite songs. I had to put a Moms and Papa's song here for sure. When I saw Monday Monday, I was like, this has to be my top 10.
Good choice. I mean, you'll see if it's on my list or not. But my number 10 is going to be a song from Peter and Gordon. Actually, it's going to
Okay.
be "Woman." Uh, it would end up being released on their U.S. album "Woman."
Okay.
This is probably one of my favorite hit songs from the band. Of course, when people think about Peter Gordon, their thoughts are "World Without Love,"
It
"I
was
Go
that
to
look.
Pieces." Those are like their two big singles. But I think Peter and Gordon came out with some really. I think they came out with other really good songs, just hit wise as well. I think this song gets scrapped under the rug a lot, and this sounds like a. I'm not sure. I think if I'm correct, if you're a Peter and Gordon fan out there, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this might be written by John Lennon. If
Oh,
I'm
really?
correct, I think this might be a John Lennon song. I could be wrong. Again, Peter and Gordon fans out there, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an incredible song. Woman, do you love me? Woman, can you read me? It's like it's very. It's I got to show this song to you, Jason, after this stream. It's very one of my favorite songs of this year, hit wise, and
Huh.
not many
Yeah.
people think about this song, and very underrated. I personally one of my favorite songs. I mean, made my list, so
Yeah.
that should just goes to show how great the song is.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with that one.
Hmm.
Um, I like Peter and Gordon.
Yeah.
Um, I need to listen to more of their stuff. Number nine is now we're this is my favorite Monkey song, which is "I'm a Believer," um, which was written by Neil Diamond. Um, but I've always loved this song ever since I was a kid. This was like one of my favorite songs. It's just so fun and catchy. Uh, I really like Davy Jones's voice. He's my favorite singer out of the Monkees. I've always enjoyed his singing. Um, but I don't know. I just always really enjoyed the lyrics and the whole idea. It's a nice love song, kind of. I'm a believer. I wouldn't leave her if I couldn't leave her if I tried. I always thought that was a great lyric. Um, and just even the verses like I thought love was only true in fairy tales, made for someone else but not for me. Love's out to get me, and I don't know. I really like the lyrics. It's I don't know. Maybe some would say it's not a deep lyrical song, but I always enjoyed it. And again, it's just a really catchy song. And in fact, this was the first song I sang on my channel. I I have a version on my channel which I sang by myself because I put a poll out and won the poll. So it's a song I enjoy singing myself. So yeah, I have it here at number 9.
Nice. That's a great choice. My number 9 is going to be a song from The Who, and it's going to be Happy Jack.
Okay.
I was just listening to a Who compilation before, not that long ago, like an hour ago, basically, and it was like there's like a lot of there's like 3 songs that make this list actually that are on that album, this compilation album. It's Happy Jack, and this was on their second album from the US called Happy Jack. Of course, in the UK, it's a quick one, and the song wasn't on there. Of course, that on the UK version, it's Heat Wave, which I think that song's great, amazing too. But
Yeah.
I could go either way with which version you could go with. Both songs are great. This is one of my favorite songs. I like the drumming on this song. To me, it's a simple pop song, but The Who, they make a really simple pop song and make it really, really good. And just goes to show how great they were. I mean, to me, they're my all-time favorite band. So it's like you can never go wrong with The Who. Yeah, number 9, Happy Jack.
All right, number 8, I had to put out a Beatles song here. Of course, Beatles are always going to dominate my list usually in the 60s, but I got a single they put out this year called Paperback Writer. They put out this, I don't know if it's a double A side, it's Paperback Writer and then Rain.
Yeah.
Might be like a double A side single they put out. I love both songs, but I put Paperback Writer here as kind of the more well known one. That they put out right before their album Revolver, which is an amazing album. Love to hear this on Revolver. It's been a great addition to the album. But man, it's such a cool song. It definitely shows them just getting better as a band. I think the guitar playing is just amazing here. I think it's some of Paul's best bass work. I think the bass playing is just really great, and drumming too. I think Ringo's drumming some of his best drumming he's done on a song. But it's such a really pretty upbeat, fast-paced song about wanting to be a paperback writer and good vocal work. And I just love the paperback, right? Paperback, paperback. How they do that, how they all kind of sing in this round, whatever. And then it goes right back into the bump, bam, down, 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 bump, bam. I mean, it's just amazing rock song. Yeah, it's one of my favorite of theirs.
I mean, yeah, that song is awesome. It's like the guitar playing, the vocals, the harmonies. It's like like almost everything you want in a Beatles song.
Yeah.
Paperback Raiders, I think that's the church. Hey, welcome, Mark.
Good,
Yeah,
man.
nice. It's nice seeing you on my channel.
Yeah, now you're on this channel.
The water is fun. The water is warm here. Welcome to my channel. It's nice seeing you. Yeah, this is a very, very, very good song. My number 8 is going to be Groovy Kind of Love by the Mindbenders.
Good song. Great.
Love this song. So the song that I'm familiar with, the first time I heard the song was actually not the Mindbenders version. It was the Sonny and Cher version, actually.
Sure, okay.
Coming back for more. I'm at work now, so my comments might be sparse. Hey, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just glad you're watching my video.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, love this song though. Groovy kind of love.
Great song.
Just the groovy kind of love. Oh yeah, it's a slower ballad type song, but oh man, it's really good. I like Sonny and Cher version a little more, but this version that Jason introduced me to is amazing as well. It's great in its own way. So shout outs to Jason for introducing me to this version. I remember I was watching
Yeah,
watching to the classic. That you're the one who introduced me to that.
I did. Yeah, yeah,
I don't know if you remember, but I even told you I'm like in the comments. I'm like, this is the first time I ever heard this version. It's like it's weird.
and I was probably
This is
shocked.
like the well known version.
That's the only version, or that's the first version I ever heard was the Mindbenders.
Yeah,
And then Phil Collins has a really good version of the song I really like as
I
well.
agree. That's a great
I don't
version.
know the Sonny and Cher version, I guess. I didn't know if that was a big thing.
I'll
That's
show you that version too.
Yeah, it's a great song. It barely missed out in my top 10. I love that song.
Well, at least it's on one of ours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's great. Number 7 for me is this is probably my favorite Baroque pop song, and it is called Walk Away Renee. And it is like one of the catchiest songs, and I love the Baroque popness of it by the Left Bank. I don't know another song by them. I don't think they had another hit. This might have been like a one-hit wonder for them.
They had a song called Pretty Ballerina.
Oh, okay.
You might like the album too. It's a really good album.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if what kind of impact they made besides Walk Renee was a huge song on the radio. It's one of the songs. Every time I hear it, I just fall in love with the song. It's one of those songs that just stays in my head, and I love singing it. Like it's one of those songs I'll sing around the house. I'll just love that. Oh, don't walk away, Renee. Oh, it's so beautiful. Like I said, the baroqueness of it. Oh, it's so great. The vocal work and just the verses are just amazing. The way he sings it, the melody. Yeah, it's one of the catchiest songs for me of all time. So I had to put it in here. I love listening to it.
Yeah, it's a great song. So my number 7 is going to be "Bus Stop" by the Hollies. Yeah, this is. I love this song. Bus stop, go cheese. Please stay under my umbrella. Oh man, this song was written by trying to remember Graham Goldman, who would end up being on 10cc. Good band, by the way. I like have some pretty good songs, and this was a great song by the Hollies. This should have been on one of their albums.
Yeah.
Either their 65 album Hollies or Would You Believe from 66. It should have been on one of those albums, but
Yes.
These British artists, they're stubborn with putting singles on their albums.
Was there a U.S. album called Bus Stop or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Guys are killing it. The Hollies at the time were golden. Nice. Yeah. Love
this was like getting the peak period of the Hollies, I guess.
Oh yeah, once we get to 65, 66, that's when the Hollies start getting great.
Yeah, with Bus Stop. Yeah. That was maybe the first Holly song I ever heard on the radio. I remember hearing that on the radio, and I always loved that song. That's a great.
Look through any window, yeah.
And that guy that wrote the song, he wrote a bunch of hits, I believe, for other bands like the Hollies.
For Your Love is one of them.
And he wasn't very old. I think he was pretty young. He was like a kid. He might have been a teenager or something when he wrote all these hit songs. I can't remember, but All right, so number 6.
Yes.
This is a huge hit song that it's crazy that this is number 6 on my list. This should be higher, but it's so many good songs this year. It's hard to. It was hard getting them in what order, but I have "Good Vibrations" here by the Beach Boys, which is one of the greatest Beach Boys songs of all time. Amazing song. Came out, I think, after they came out with Pet Sounds or something like that. They come out with this Pet Sounds, one of the greatest albums of all time, the greatest Beach Boys album for me, and have some really great hits on there. And then they come out with "Good Vibrations," and it's like, man, this is another amazing hit. It wasn't on the album, and it's like, man, I wish this was on Pet Sounds. It'd been another amazing addition to a great album, but it's such a great single. Obviously, it's kind of Brian Wilson's like just genius in the studio. Really shows how good he is. He has so many different instruments, different stuff going on. The way he blends it all in with the cellos, whatever. he has like 3 or 4 cellos going at one point, I think. And I've seen like footage, of him, it's like he really was a perfectionist, and like what he heard. He heard everything in his brain, and he had to try to figure out how to explain it to all the musicians, what he's hearing in his brain, so they can play it the way he wants. And so I know he probably took a long time putting it together because he wanted it a certain way. But man, does it sound good! And of course, you got the great harmonies and the great, that great California sound. Uh, good vibrations. That whole part is amazing, and I love the ending part where it slows down and gotta get those good vibrations from happening to you. God, and those high notes are so good. And they have that weird instrument, that whatever that is, and gets right back into the chorus. It's one of the best from the Beach Boys. Like I said, this is probably number one for some people, and I can see it being number one. It just number 6 for me.
Yeah, great song. Possibly my favorite Beach Boys song. That's a great choice. I mean,
Oh yeah,
love that song.
I think I want to say it's Scott's favorite Beach Boys song, but I'm not.
Oh yeah, it's one of his all-time favorite songs.
He loves that song.
Okay, my number 6 is gonna be "You Didn't Have to Be So Kind, You Have to Be So Nice" by the Lovin' Spoonful. This is my favorite Lovin' Spoonful song, and for a good reason. This is like, it's one of those songs where it's like so mellow. It's very nice. It gets you in the mood, and I know some people might be like, "Oh, it's bubblegum pop," but I love this kind of bubblegum pop. It's just feel good. Love the chorus. Love the music. This is like the Lovin' Spoonful that I absolutely adore. I mean, I like when they go crazy, like with like Bald Headed Lena.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen her?
Yeah.
But I like that stuff too. It's good, but this is like the Lovin' Spoonful that I like. I wish they did more of this, in my opinion. But yeah, this is one of my favorite songs of this year. Yeah, very, very good.
Yeah, that's another great one. At number 5, this is my favorite song from Buffalo Springfield, which is For What It's Worth, which is the opening to their album, Buffalo Springfield, which is one of my favorite albums. I love that album. We reviewed it recently, and every time I hear that album, I love it even more. And this is their big hit, really. It's by far their biggest hit. That was a big radio hit, written by Stephen Stills. Kind of a really good kind of protest style song, but something's happening here. What it is isn't exactly clear. There's a man over there with a gun over there, I think, or something like that, saying it got to beware. And I just love that stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody, look what's going down. I mean, it's one of the greatest choruses of this period. I love the beginning though. The beginning is so good that I love I mean, you got Stephen Stills guitar, and then you got Neil Young playing those ringing notes. Bing! It's just like, what a great sound. Genius. Like Neil Young coming up with those one chord notes, the one string notes that are just ring throughout the song that really make it like, it could have been good. That makes it even great. Like, to me, that makes it even one of the greatest songs of this period. One of my favorite songs of all time, to be honest. But the harmonies, yeah, everything, the verses, the chorus, it's an amazing song.
That's a great choice. There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. Yeah, great song. My number 5 is a tie. It's a tie of 2 songs. So, so basically, the only time I'll try to tie things is when it's like either a double A side or it's like 2 songs that are from the same band that are trying to at the same time. Yeah. Number 5 is gonna be tie between Rain and Paperback Writer.
Is it Paperback Writer?
I couldn't pick between the two. Both are
both great. Yeah,
both are amazing songs. Well, I'll start talking about Paperback Writer. Paperback Writer's like this rocking song with the great guitar hook. It's like man, to me, this part 65, 66 Beatles is so good. It's like feel like they just couldn't go wrong in this period for the Beatles this time. Excellent choices. Yeah. Just Paperback Writer is like a great catchy song. It's like a catchy song, but psychedelic at the same time. Great. And then Rain is like this moody song by John Lennon. It's like when the rain comes. It's like
Very psychedelic.
moody, psychedelic. Like you have like both their psychedelic songs and both work so good. One's psychedelic and it's like a good pop song, and one's just like psychedelic, really gets you in the mood. It's like slower. Both are just great. Got an amazing Paul song, an amazing John song. Why these songs weren't on Revolver, I don't know. I could think of two songs that could have replaced the two on Revolver, but that's just my opinion, of course. I mean, I really want to review Revolver on Jacob's channel already. I've been dying to review that album.
I know, for a long time. We've been waiting for that.
Yeah, me and Jason are like, can we get to that album yet? But yeah, number 5, Rain and Paperback Writer.
Yeah, I love Rain. Rain is such an amazing song. Again, the bass playing, the drumming, it's like some of the best. It feels like they all just upped their game as far as musicianship. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. Number 4. Finally, I get to a song that you mentioned. I think it's the first time, but this is my favorite Lovin' Spoonful song. You Didn't Have to Be So Nice. Yeah, I love the song. It's so catchy. I just love the even how it begins with the ba-dum 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 da bum 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 ba bum. I don't know. It's just amazing, and I love the song. How it's I mean, of course, I love Sebastian's voice. Is so great. He has such a great sound to him. But you didn't have to be so nice. I would have loved you anyway. So great sounding. And the first part, he's just singing by himself. And then when they get to like the second verse, something like that, this is where the song to me goes from good to great. Is when they get to like second verse and he goes back into that. You didn't have to be so nice, and all of a sudden you get these background vocals, harmonies, amazing. You didn't have to be, or you didn't have to be so nice, so nice. Oh, I love it. I would have loved you anyway, loved you anyway. Oh, they hit some incredible high notes. The harmonies are amazing. It just makes the song so amazing. And I love how they started with no backing vocals and then second verse backing vocals. It's just like makes the song just like evolve in front of your eye, or in front of your ears, I guess, where you're like, oh my gosh, the song gets better as it goes. And yeah, harmony's great. Just I even love just the whole idea behind the song. It's a nice love song, wonderfully sang, wonderful melodies. And they have a lot. This is off the Daydream album, which is a great album, and they have a lot of great songs. But yeah, that's my favorite. Every time I hear that song, it's just a great airworm song.
That's a great choice. Okay, my number 4. It's a tie again. It's a tie again. My number 4 is going to be Monday, California Dreaming. So those are the two songs that tied. Okay. Of course, Monday. Jason already hit it on his list. I couldn't pick between the two. Both songs equally strong. Of course, Monday is the kickoff song to their debut album, If You Believe Your Eyes and Ears. Love that song. Monday. Love that song. Very, very beautiful song. But the song I want to talk about now is California Dreaming. It's like All the Leaves Are Brown is like the Mama Cass and forgetting the other girl's name.
Michelle.
Mama Michelle. All the leaves are brown and the sky is gray. And the sky is gray.
Yeah.
Harmonies, it's like
okay,
to me, the mamas and papas, you're taking advantage of the silent. Oh, wait until we get to albums of the year. I'm gonna be using that more.
Nick has 12 songs in his top 10.
Wait until we get to albums of the year. I have 60, 65, and 66. I have quite a bit of ties. I should bring along a tie. Be like, got a tie. I know as Chippy does that. I want to. But yeah, I can't help myself. It's just So
Yeah.
much good songs of this
So many-
year. It's so hard to pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Like I said, if you allow me to do that on the albums of the year, but yeah, I had to tie these two songs because
That's fine.
California Dreaming is this awesome song with great harmonies, and to me, what makes this song the best isn't the harmonies; it's the part at the in the middle where it's like it's like stuck into a church, passed along the way. I I fell on my knees. I began to play. It's like, oh man, I wish he sung more. That guy. I wish he did more, like just by himself.
Yeah, great vocals.
It's just I feel like he was underutilized in the Mamas and Papas, in my opinion. That is.
Who's that? Is that John Phillips or is that the other guy?
Trying to look it up right now. Uh, Papa Denny. I think Denny should have did more. John didn't really sing much.
Oh, he didn't. Okay. I
Just
should
enough.
remember.
Sung on a few songs, but not as. He wasn't really their main singer. He wrote their songs, but he didn't really sing on them that much.
Yeah, because Cass, she sang a lot. She was probably the best singer of the group. I always thought she had a great voice.
That's a good choice for me. My favorite singer is Denny.
Yeah, and Denny, he must be the other one that sings.
Yeah. Ha. I don't blame you. Yeah. I don't. Thank you. Throater's Denny. Yeah. Don't worry. This is the last time I tie on this video. Two great songs, both turning in the same year. It's like I had to tie it. It's to me. I couldn't help myself. Yeah. What's your number 3?
Number 3 is my favorite Simon and Garfunkel song. So I'm a huge Simon Garfunkel song, so this obviously had to be pretty high on my list, and that is the Sound of Silence, which I believe this is the version that's on Sounds of Silence. I prefer the electric version than the acoustic version, but they're both really good songs. I mean, it's the same song, but both are good. I do love the addition of the bass and the drums, electric guitar in there. Add a little bit to it, of course, and that's the one that's on the radio. But I just love, of course, the vocals. The Simon Garfunkel's, they're at their best as far as their harmonies uh, and just it's just a kind of haunting song almost. I don't know. The whole feel of the song is just amazing. And I just love that first line, the "Hello, darkness, my old friend." It's probably my favorite opening line to any song. I don't know. As soon as you hear that, you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good." And I think it's lyrically just amazing. The way he paints these pictures of silence like a cancer grows, I think is one. I don't know, it's just like amazing. These lines that you just stick with me. Like when you hear the song, I just go, "Wow, that's a pretty cool lyric." And Simon is it's crazy because Paul Simon's pretty young and he's already putting out some great lyrics. Like to me, he's one of the greatest songwriters I think of all time. Um, with Simon Garfunkel and then his own solo work, he's always been really good at it, anyways. And obviously, huge one of their biggest hits on the radio for good reason. It's iconic. I hear it all the time on different movies and stuff. It's just one of those songs that's been around forever. It seems like, and never will get old for me.
No, that's a great song. Perfect song. Yes, that's a great way of putting it. I've been on a Simon and Garfunkel kick lately.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've been listening to him lately.
Good timing, I guess. My number 3 is gonna be a song from the Seekers, and it's gonna be "Hey There, Georgie Girl," Georgie Girl. I love this song. This is again just another amazing bubblegum pop song. Of course, people are like, bubblegum pop song, But I love songs like this, this and Sugar Sugar,
Oh yeah.
I like these kind of songs, that's why I like the Hermits so much. They fit into that category.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great song. The harmonies are great. Oh man, this is one to me just another just great song from a pretty good band. They have a few good songs. I wouldn't say they're artists. I listened to a couple of their albums. They're not
Oh, you have? Okay.
one of my favorites artists, but they're good for what they are though. They did a cover of Yesterday, and It was good. It wasn't like terrible. It wasn't the worst, but it was good. It was decent. Yeah, very very good song. First time I heard this song. Fun fact was I was at a amusement park called Busch Gardens,
Yeah.
and so like this amusement park, it's supposed to be about Europe. It's supposed to be themed around Europe, Britain, Germany, Scotland, Ireland, France, Italy, and Britain. There's a part of the park that they play just British invasion songs like Bus Stop, Penny Lane,
Yeah.
Should I Share, Should I Go. They're playing like these British songs, and
Yeah.
Georgie Girl and Bus Stop were the first times I heard these two
Really.
songs. And there's a kind of Hush by the Hermits. So it's like I heard a lot of good stuff, and this was like when I was a little kid. So these songs made an impression on me when at a young age. And I mean, Georgie Girl is on my top 3 favorite songs of this year, just because of way back then and still today. The song still grabs me.
Yeah, I love that song. So catchy. The female singer is so good. I like her.
Yeah, very
Just
good.
passed away a couple of years ago. I know.
No, that's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, they had another song that was pretty good too. I'm forgetting at the moment, but yeah, this was like their real big hit. I think it was a song off of a movie as well.
I'll Never Find Another You.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, number 2 for me. This song, I wasn't sure if I can put it here in the hit songs, but I put it here just because I felt like the song was too big to put in the deep cuts, so I stuck it in the hit songs. I think it's well big enough that I can put it here, and it's my favorite song off of my favorite album. So I was like, I had to put it here. And that's Eleanor Rigby. I put number 2. It's just so good. I had to put it in somewhere, and I was like, so I put it in my top 10 hits.
It was actually a hit song. Actually, they released it as a double A side hit with the Yellow Submarine.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm I'm vilified or whatever. I don't know.
Even if, like I said, I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna be
Yeah.
a warden or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
I had 2 ties on my list already. So,
But yeah, I Eleanor Rigby, one of my favorite Beatles songs of all time. It's off of Revolver, my favorite Beatles album. So it's like it's my favorite song off my favorite album, it has to be pretty high on my list, you know. So I put it here at number 2, and it's just, I mean, incredible. The melodies, the harmonies. I just love the orchestra. What makes me love it so much is the orchestra is so good. It's some of the best orchestration on it. And there's no guitars, I think no drums, no bass, just orchestra music, which is really, I thought, fascinating. It's the only time the Beatles ever did that, where they just had a song where like the other Beatles didn't have to do anything but sing in the chorus basically, and Paul just took over. But I just love that. You know, oh, look at all the lonely people. I mean, it's such a great kind of catchy chorus that they start with, and just like I just love the da 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 da. It's just beautiful orchestrations, and I think it's up there as one of my favorite song lyrics for Paul. I think he's just some of his best songwriting. It almost kind of tells a story of someone who dies named Eleanor Rigby, and and I love it. Talks about the priest is getting ready for the sermon for the funeral, and uh, and there's lines like she keeps her face on a jar by the door, which is makeup. She keeps her makeup by the door, but instead of saying makeup by the door, he says she keeps her face in a jar by the door. I'm like, oh, I love that writing. It's so good, And then the priest getting ready for the funeral, and then he gets the funeral, and like nobody shows up basically, and he took so much time preparing like this sermon, and no one kind of showed up at the funeral, and so it says it says something like nobody was saved, which means like he didn't get to give out the gospel message at the sermon, so nobody got to hear the gospel because nobody was there. I don't know. It's just I love the writing of it, how he words all those. It really paints you a picture of what's going on, and of this kind of story, of this kind of sad story, I guess, in a sense. And even the chorus is sad. You know, look at all the lonely people, and all that. But it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I love that song. I had to step out to You Choose O and Nerdby. Yeah,
Number
it's a favorite Beatles song. Yeah, it's a lyrically. I gotta say, it's not one of my favorite all-time favorite Beatles songs, but lyrically, it is the best Beatles song. If we're going objectively, this is the best Beatles song.
Yeah.
If we're going by on the technicality, it is, in my opinion. Of course, I'm not gonna like deny it. If someone says technically Strawberry Fields is the best song, then yeah, I wouldn't blame you. But yeah, great song though. My number two is going to be a Who song. It's going to be, of course, again, got to hit my favorite band. It's going to be I'm a Boy. Yeah. Very good song. So, funny enough, these lyrics are very ahead of its time. So, it's like, there's like these girls who, like, one girl's like named Marie. This girl's named this girl's that. And it's like, I'm a boy, you know, and it's like, you know, in today's day, it's like almost like, I don't know if this is about trans people or not. I think it is, or because it's like he's naming all these girls, and he's like, well, I'm a boy, you know, like I identify, I think I'm a boy, I feel like I'm a boy, and if I'm correct, like if I know this isn't my theory, a lot of people think this, and if Pete Townsend confirms this to be true, the song is very ahead of its time. Very, very ahead of its time. I'm not. You ever heard the song before, Jason?
I said it's not on an album. I don't think, right?
Yeah, it's in that period though, and this is another song I gotta show you after this stream. Very, very ahead of its time though, and it's so rocking. It's like Pete Townsend singing it. It's like, and then Daltrey singing in it. It's like, my name is Billy and I'm a head case. It's like the drum. My favorite part, this chorus is like, I'm a boy, but my ma won't believe it. I'm a boy. If I say I am, I am.
Okay.
Again, if this song is actually about what I think it is,
Huh.
very, very ahead of its time.
The song, yeah.
This is like 66 we're talking about. This is 1966. It's crazy if they're talking about that year.
Yeah.
Coming in with the Who selection. Yeah, very love the Who. My favorite band.
Oh.
The Year for Music, Paperback Writer, and 19 Nervous Breakdown are two of my favorites. Yeah, those are great songs. 19 Nervous Breakdown is sadly an honorable mention. I couldn't put that in the list.
I don't have any Who songs just because I don't know, Who didn't have any really big hits this year, but
You have any honorable mentions?
yes, I do. Fair amount, of course. There's so many great songs that it was so hard leaving these songs off my top 10. This was, as you said, the last year and this year so far it's been quite a chore putting these top 10s together because I have to leave off songs I love off these lists. But yeah, I do have Georgie Girl. Georgie Girl, I love that song. I wish I could have got that in there. But Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones, one of my favorite Rolling Stones songs. Wild Thing is one of the greatest rock songs of this period. I love that song. Cherish, my favorite song off of the Association's first album.
Along Comes the Association.
And Along Comes Mary, also an honorable mention, another great song off of the Along Comes Association album. Poor Side of Town, probably my favorite Johnny Rivers song. I always thought that was a great song. Bus Stop, of course. Yeah, this is on my list. That's one of the best Holly songs. Of course, so many great Beach Boys songs this year. Wouldn't It Be Nice and Sloop John B, both great songs off Pet Sounds. California Dreamin', great song off the Moms Papas. Homeward Bound, one of my favorite Simon Garfunkel songs. When a Man Loves a Woman, great. I think Percy Sledge, sings it. Great vocal work. Groovy Kind of Love. I love that song. The Mindbenders. Amazing. Red Rubber Ball, I think by The Circle.
Oh yeah, that's a great song.
Might have been their only hit, but I always love that song. um, this might be a surprise, but there's a song called Little Red Riding Hood by Sam Sham and the Pharaoh. Uh,
Oh yeah, Sam Sham and the Pharaoh. I've heard that group before.
yeah, we talked about Wooly Bully last year as being like the worst song. This is one song by them. I actually really like the song, and I don't know if you know the song, but
I'll be the judge of that when I hear it.
yeah, I know Tastes Like Music. One of them put this as the worst song of the year. I know, so they didn't give any love towards it. But I don't know. I think it has some good harmonies in it. It's a fun song. It's kind of goofy, but Sunshine Superman, amazing song by Donovan. And then the last song I put is Summer in the City, another great Love and Spoonful song.
Okay, it's a great honorable mentions list. Before you give your number one, I'll give my honorable mentions. So I wrote down 10. A lot of them are you said in your repeat in your honorable mentions. Whatever's on my wrote down, it's basically what he said. Must to Avoid by Hermits.
That's a good song. Yeah.
One Comes Mary from the Association. Cherish from the Association. For What It's Worth, Buffalo Springfield. Sunny Afternoon by the Kinks. Really wish I would have found the Kinks song in here, but too much competition.
Yeah.
Sunshine Superman by Donovan. Last Train to Clarksville by the Monkees. Strangers in the Night by Frank Sinatra. These Moots Are Wait for Walking by Nancy Sinatra. 96 Tears by Question Me and the Question Marks, I think is the name of the group. But yeah, that's my honorable mentions.
Okay. Oh, Sunny Afternoon. I should have that on my own. That's such a good song. By the Kinks. One of my favorite Kinks songs, actually. All right, number one is, I don't know if it's pretty obvious, I feel like. Tastes Like Music. All three guys had this as their number one, so I thought it was funny. I'm like, wow, I'm just right in step with everybody. And it's God Only Knows by the Beach Boys. Is my favorite Beach Boys song. It's top 5 probably favorite song of all time. It's just one of my all-time favorite songs. It's always been, ever since I was a kid. I remember Beach Boys were all over the radio on the oldie station, of course. They have so many big hits. But I always thought this was my favorite song, even as a kid. I remember hearing this on the radio and going, man, I just love the lyrics of this song. I just love the whole idea of God only knows what I'd do without you. It's like such a great, sentiment, I guess, a feeling of like, it's an interesting song, I guess, in the sense like it's like a song about like if it's almost like if your girlfriend or whatever ever leaves you, like what would you do? It'd be devastating. I think that's kind of what the song's about. But it even starts off with I may not always love you, but as long as there's stars above you or something like that, I'm so sure about it or something like that. It's like he does love her, but yeah, it's almost this idea of like they could break up, but yet, it is a kind of a love song in a way. 'Cause I feel like, yeah, if your loved one leaves, man, it just devastate you, and like God only knows, like only God would know what will happen, because yeah, it'd be terrible. But so lyrically, I think it's great. But then obviously the vocally, I love Carl's. I think it's Carl Wilson that's singing here. Love his vocals. So beautiful, it's such a beautiful song. And then the harmonies are just top notch. And the part where God only knows what I do, what I'd be without you. God only, like when they do that whole round of harmonies, it's some of the best music arrangements I've ever heard anyways. And it's just overall just one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. And I love it every time off of Pet Sounds.
Yeah. That's an honorable mention. I forgot. I don't know why I forgot about that song. Weird.
So we don't have number one.
Nope. My number one is going to be my favorite song. Well, one of my favorite songs from The Who in this year, and that's going to be Substitutes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Substitute.
Great
Oh man, Substitute. I mean, it's my favorite band. I'm gonna be very biased towards my favorite band, of course. Yeah, this is to me the best song of this year. I mean, It's like the lyrics are so like crazy. It's like
Yeah,
I look all white, but my dad is black. I'm like,
that is black. What does that mean?
that would have in today's standards, this song would never get passed.
That would never get.
No, not at all. It's great though. I like it. It's like me for him, my Coke for gin. Oh man, this is like very catchy. Substitute.
Very catchy.
Substitute. It's like you think you look very good together. Love this song. When I first heard the song, I'm like, this song is awesome, and to this day, I'm still this should have been on a quick one from their '66 album.
Yeah.
Still don't get why it's not on there, but again,
Yeah.
they're stubborn. These British people, they're like, can't do that. Yeah, pooey with them.
Yeah, because you get Substitute, like Pictures of Lily, maybe Magic Bus coming out around this time.
Magic Bus came after the Who Sellout, so
Oh, okay, so that's a little bit later.
yeah, Pictures of Lily could have been on the Who Sellout.
Oh, okay, yeah, you have these great singles that just never made it. I Can't Explain is one of my favorite. Kind of their first big hit, and it's like, man, why are these not on albums?
Yeah, it's frustrating.
It's
Really
frustrating. Exactly.
Well, now we get to our top 5 deep cuts. Of course, on this part, we're just gonna go through our list. So Jason will just go through his 5. I'll go through my 5. Of course, if you have any honorable mentions, say that, of course. But yeah, it's your turn. 5 deep cuts.
All right, number 5. It's fun. It's kind of similar to last year. This is off of the Bob Dylan album. This time, Blonde on Blonde, and this is the closing song, which is called "Sad-Eyed Lady of the Lowlands," which is like over 11-minute song. And 1965, I had Desolation Row, which was the closer to Highway 61 Revisited, which is a pretty long song too. So it's kind of like I'm kind of similar to last year or last 65, whatever. Hitting the Bob Dylan song. That again, this is a song that's obviously I don't think it's very well known at all. It's not definitely not a hit at all for him. Not really well known. Not on radio. Of course, it's too long to be on the radio. And I'm probably alone on this. I don't think anybody else likes this song as much as I do. I might be wrong. I usually don't hear anybody rank this very high, but this is like one of my favorite songs on the album. And it's not exactly a catchy song or anything, but I just love the whole overall vibe of it. There's a little bit of harmonica in there, a little bit of like an organ in there, acoustic, kind of acoustic song. But it's just a really nice sounding song, and I think overall it has a pretty good melody to it. And it's funny, Bob Dylan, he's a terrible singer, but yet it works for this song, as it does for a lot of his songs. Somehow he makes it work, and I still kind of really enjoy it. It's definitely like a guilty pleasure, not guilty pleasure, but it's a I don't know what to call it. It's just personally, I just really enjoy it.
A really good song. I mean, well, I'll let very impressive list, guys. One of the Beatles songs would have probably been on my number 1, but I'm a little crazy when it comes to the Beatles music. Hey, I mean, look at Jason. You and Jason are like Jason's favorite band is the Beatles as well. So if you're gonna stick along with me, you'll see I'm crazy for the Who. So we have our band we go crazy for.
Yeah.
No way. I would have never guessed you for Sad-Eyed Lady of the Ladylands and Deep Track.
Yeah, it is a deep track.
I'll be reviewing the Dylan album tonight. He's a hero of mine.
Awesome.
Is that the name of his album? I forgot. I heard all of his albums. Give me a second. I mean, Bob Dylan had so much freaking albums. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean,
The 7th album, but
no, that's not one of his albums. Which album are you reviewing? Curious.
yeah, that's on your viewing. Yeah, I was gonna say for the Beatles are gonna be almost number 1 every year. So for a song to beat a Beatles song, it's a pretty good song. That's why I was gonna say, God only knows that's a pretty good song to beat out the Beatles, because you're not gonna beat out the Beatles very often on my list. The Beatles had the number 1 song last year with Yesterday, and you can believe that 67, 68, 69, 70, Beatles are going to be up there on my list for favorite song. We'll see if they can get number 1 on the other ones. But anyways, yeah. So I don't know that. Yeah, it's a very deep cut. but I enjoy that song. Even though it's so long, it's just enjoyable. Number 4, this is, I think, a really great Holly song. It's called Pay You Back with Interest. I think it's my favorite song. It was my favorite song off of the album,
For certain because
The Hollies or something like that. It's like the 3rd album, I think.
it's their 5th album, For Certain Because.
Oh, it's not For Certain Because. Okay. It's so catchy. I don't know. It was never, as far as I know, it was never his. Never a song I ever heard on the radio. But to me, it could have been. It's so catchy, and I love the vocals and just the "Pay You Back with Interest," whatever. Really good song. Like I said, it's probably my favorite song of that album, if I remember right. Number 3, this is my favorite kind of deep cut off of Pet Sounds. It's so good. Obviously, Pet Sounds has like 3 big hits on it. This song is probably my 4th favorite song on the album, and it's Caroline No. I think it's an amazing song. It's off of an amazing album, but again, just love the overall melodies of it and just the Caroline No, and just vocal work and how he sings that. It's just a lovely, lovely song. Anyways, could have been a hit song, but there's already so many hits with the 3 and then Good Vibrations. There you had 4 pretty big hits on here. Number 2, it was hard. I had to go with a Beatles off the Revolver, and there's a fair amount of actually pretty good deep cuts off of Revolver. It's really not one of the. It's my favorite album yet. It's not really full of big hits, I don't think. But to me, the song that is never really played on the radio, it's never really talked about, and I love it, and that is "And Your Bird Can Sing." I think it's an amazing, one of my favorite rock songs from the Beatles. I think that guitar riff is amazing. One of the great guitar riffs that the Beatles ever did. And it's like 2 guitars playing at once. So you have like this really cool effect of like these 2 guitars playing the same riff. And it's a short song, but it's a pretty fast-paced song. John Lennon vocals amazing. He has some great rock vocals there. There's some harmonies in there as well. And yeah, it goes by pretty quick, but man, I always love this song. But like I said, there's a lot of good songs on Revolver I could have gone with. But number 1, I know Nick has this on his list. I love the song. It's crazy this wasn't a hit song, and that is "Out of My Mind" on Buffalo Springfield. It's my 2nd favorite Buffalo Springfield song. My favorite was in my top 10 hits. This is such an amazing discovery when you go to Buffalo Springfield, and Neil Young only sings like 2 songs on the whole album, and this one is amazing. And you're like, wow, why didn't he sing more? Because I love his vocals, but it's such a cool song, such a kind of slower song, but I love the way he sings it. Just, he's got such a unique voice, but and got some great harmonies here. Out of my mind, and I just couldn't take it anymore. Like, I love how he delivers lines. Left behind. It's just a really beautiful song. Great backing vocals. Love the guitar, how it sounds. It has a cool effect to it. Bam, 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 bam. Just like everything. It's just a great sounding song. Great vocals, great harmonies. It's one of those songs, first time I heard it, I was like, oh, this is so awesome. This is like one of my favorite songs. In fact, I should say, like, there was one year that this was my number 1 song on Spotify when it came out a couple years ago. I think my Spotify list of like the year-end songs, it was like the top 5 songs you listen to or something like that. And like "Out of My Mind" was the song I listened to the most. So that's how much I got into the song. When I found it out, I was like, oh, I was listening to the song over and over again. Couldn't get enough of it.
Great top 5. Before I get to my top 5, I'll give my honorable mentions. Session Man by the Kinks. Most Exclusive Residence for Sale by the Kinks.
Mm-hmm.
Straight Shooter by the Mamas and Papas. For No One by the Beatles.
That's
Heatwave by the Who. I've Been Away by the Who, which is the B-side to Happy Jack. Okay, now my number 5 is going to be Tell Me to My Face by the Hollies. So this is my favorite song from their For Certain Because album. So yeah, I love the guitar work. It's like, tell me to my face you're leaving now. because it's like you wrote a letter saying you're gonna leave me. It's like, tell me to my face. It's like, don't be a coward. Just tell me you're leaving me. Don't write me a letter. It's like you wrote an unsigned letter saying that you will leave me now. Is it because it's like such a great song. It's very catchy. It's my favorite song from that album. One of my favorite Holly songs, period. Yeah, this is sung by Graham Nash. Great song. Number 4, my favorite song from A Quick One, which is A Quick One While He's Away. 9-minute epic of a track. Her man's been gone for many a year. She was due home yesterday, but she's not here. It's like, this song is crazy, but I love it so much. Weird One, Shadows in the Night. Dylan sings Sinatra. I think I know that album, but I'll look it up as I give my list. So my number 3 is going to be You Baby from the Mamas and Papas. This is my favorite song from that album, and it's my favorite song from them. Period.
Oh, wow.
It's like a bubblegum pop song. It's like from the time I fall asleep till the morning comes, I dream about you, baby. Ooh. The harmonies are great. It's a very catchy song. It's from their debut album. My favorite song from the debut album.
Yeah.
I had it. Yeah, very, very underrated song, and I think a lot of people should talk about that song more. Number 2, Taxman by the Beatles.
Great, yeah, great one.
So of course, amongst Beatle fans, this is like a known song. Like, everyone knows that song, but no, us Beatle fans know it only. Like,
yeah.
anyone who doesn't really know much music, they'd be like, Taxman, what the heck is that song?
Yeah.
It's a great song though. It's like, it starts off weird though. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. It's supposed to be like them like them parodying what they did on the first album. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like this song. It's like 1,
very slow.
2, 3, 4, 1, 2. I don't know who does that, but I gotta give them credit. They make it as weird as possible, which is good. I think it's great. And then got this great boom, 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 boom. And then got George Harrison. It's like, let me tell you how it will be. Bum, 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 bum. There's one for you, 19 for me. Man. Best George Harrison song. Possibly the best Beatles song, if you're asking me. This and In My Life are fighting to be number 1. And guess what? In My Life was in my top 5 for last year. So it's like, again, the Beatles, couldn't go wrong with Beatles at this time. This point of the band, it's like, I could totally see why Mark Morris and you think they're the best band. This is like, to me, they're competing with The Who. That's how good this period of the band is. 65 and 66. They're competing with them at this point of time.
I mean, it's one of their best rock songs. Maybe my favorite guitar solo out of any Beatles song as well.
I agree. That and one of my Guitar Generally Weeps has one of the greatest guitar solos, but to me, this guitar solo, Taxman. Never can go wrong with that song, that guitar solo. And it was by Sir Paul McCartney who does the solo.
McCartney needs a guitar solo.
Yeah, he did it.
I wonder how that worked. He must have been like, hey, George, I got an idea for a guitar solo or something. I don't know. And
right,
you do it.
Yeah, great song by a great band. Number 1, we're gonna have to full agreement on this one. Out of My Mind by Buffalo Springfield from the first album.
Yeah.
This is a song that cuts deep, goes deep. Love this song. It's like what make me and Jason do top albums of the six albums of the year, and we got to 66. This is like top 3 albums here of that year.
Yes.
It's like top 10 albums of all time, and it's in my top 3 of this year. It's like, this song, it cuts deep. It's like out of my mind, and I just can't take it anymore. Uh always hits deep.
This
Gets
is
me.
your favorite song. Right?
What's that?
This is your favorite Buffalo Springfield song, isn't it?
It's my favorite Buffalo Springfield song, and it's my favorite song of the year.
Yeah.
Deep, not even deep cut hit. This is the best song of this year, in my opinion. I think it's better than Substitute. I think this is better than a bunch of Who songs, and I'm a Who fan. I'm like,
Yeah.
they're like my favorite band, and Buffalo Springfield topped them this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you could say you topped the Who for me, that's like
Yeah. And the whole album's like a great deep cut album because there's only like one hit song on the album.
exactly. It's
I mean,
oh
yeah.
man, really. It's that album is just. If you haven't checked that album out yet, listen to that album. Me and Jason review that album. Our favorite song of the deep cut. Our favorite deep cut of this year is from that album. So check that album out, please.
Oh yeah, both 10 out of 10s. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now we're gonna get to the worst of the 66. Worst of 66. What's your least favorite song of this year?
Well, this song I wasn't real familiar with, but I was looking at the charts and I saw this song. I was like, "What's this song?" And I checked it out, and it was like, "How did this become a hit?" And it's called Winchester Cathedral. Uh, Never heard this song before. Didn't know it was a hit song. I don't think it ever was on the radio, but it hit number one. If you listen to it, it's like this. I looked it up a little bit, but it's very like it's purposely supposed to sound like a song from the 40s or something like that. It's like a really old style song. Like I call it like almost like a ragtime type song, but it's like this, like there a drum and like a maybe a trumpet or something, and it's like and there's whistling and it's and that's like the melody, and it's like the song is 2 minutes and 15 seconds long, and the first minute is just the music. There's no singing. It's just that and this guy whistling, and it's just like you're like, what is this? And then finally the guy comes in like a minute into the song, Winchester Cathedral, and it's like very like goofy, like they obviously it's like, and you look it up and it's like it really was like just a goofy novelty song that this band called the New Vaudevillains or something like that came out with. And again, it was all session musicians. It was just this guy kind of came up with the song, got some session musicians together, they put together, and it ended up going like number one, which is like shocking to me. Like, how did people, with all the great songs going on? In fact, the funny thing is like it went number one. I can't remember. I'm forgetting now what beat out. I'm sure it beat out like a really good song. Went number one for 1 week, and then Good Vibrations took it out of the number one spot for like 2 weeks, and then Winchester Cathedral came back and beat out Good Vibrations for number one, and then like the next week, I'm a Believer took it out of the number one spot. So, I mean, it's right in between Good Vibrations and like I'm a Believer. It's like two songs are in my top 10 favorite songs of the year, and I'm just like shocked at the songs like did anything.
I gotta listen to that song. That's
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
We're gonna be listening to a lot of songs after this stream. Yeah, I gotta listen to that song. My pick for the worst song of this year, "Hanky Panky" by Tommy James and
That was
Shondells.
my second pick.
Baby does the hanky panky. My baby does the hanky panky. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's terrible.
2 years in a row, the worst song of the year is just, it's a novelty song. Wooly Bully and this song are just novelty songs that were big in its day, but this is awful. This is so bad. This is really bad.
Yeah, I'm on this length.
I think this is worse than Wooly Bully, actually. You know what's funnier is that Neil Diamond covered this song.
Really?
Neil Diamond covered this song.
Oh man.
I thought his version was god awful too. I'm like, Who would want to cover this song though? I get it; it was a hit song, but come on, like, this is awful. Oh man, I gotta listen to that one song though afterwards though. But yeah, this is we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel though for hits of '66.
Yeah, that was on the radio. I remember hearing that on the radio quite a bit. Yeah, that was annoying. My baby does it. It's like, what?
What the fuck is the hanky panky?
Yeah, what? Hanky panky.
I know the twist. Twist and shout, but the hanky panky, what the fuck is that? Get the fuck away from me. Hanky panky.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been like an honorable mention for me. Yeah. Hanky panky.
Fucking hanky panky the fuck out of here. Oh my god. Sorry about that. Gotta run, guys, but I'll watch the rest when I get home today.
We're almost done. We're pretty much done.
Yeah, you said that 5 minutes ago, so yeah. Get to hear me ramble about how awful hanky panky is. And I think he left when you mentioned your bottom pick, so it's like get to hear us talk about the worst song of that year. But you have any just final thoughts of this year before we close out?
Oh man, it was just an amazing year of British rock music and folk rock music coming together. Some of my favorite genres. So many great albums. With the Revolver is my favorite album. Pet Sounds is in my top 10. And then you get Simon Garfunkel in here, Moms and Papas. I guess the Monkees. Love and Spoonful. Daydream's one of my favorite albums from this year. Buffalo Springfield, amazing album. I mean, this is an amazing year of music. Yeah, it's one of the best. I mean, I think it'd be interesting when we get through these years. Like, if I look back, I always say 66 is definitely up there. It's one of the best years of music. It's going to be hard because when you get to like 71 is great. 65 was great as well. But obviously, yeah, this, for me and you, I know the 65 through 70 for sure is just set, or even the 71 or whatever you want, however high you want to go. It's just one amazing year after another.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to go on your channel and do top albums of the year. Like when we get to 66, I'll tell our viewer chat. I have 20 honorable mentions, and I have give me 1 second. I have a tie that year as well, and that's counting the tie. It's like 20 honorable mentions and one tie. It's like it's just. Oh my gosh, this is just one great year, and to me, the greatest year of music comes next, 67. Excited to talk about that year.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll turn this thing off. So long.